we went through a couple of spots where there was like a D8 Caterpillar and a cable like a quarter mile long. And if you wanted to get to the other side, you hooked your car onto the cable and they pulled you to the other side, just drug you through the mud.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, because the road wasn't there yet.
Oh, he's got to finish chewing his bottle caps.
It's the breakfast of champions.
It is, yeah. That is actually all I had for breakfast today was a few bottle caps. and nice. A cup of coffee.
Yeah, I had like a half caffeinated cup of coffee. That didn't do it, but...
Half caffeinated, amateur.
How can you guys stand to drink coffee?
Because it's delicious. So, Chris...
It's the best thing ever.
You know how beer tastes?
Yum.
Right. But when you first tasted beer, did you like it?
Yes.
The first time?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
When you were like 12 or whatever?
I was 7.
Okay, but you liked the taste the first time?
Yes, I did.
Well, that's weird. Everybody else I've ever heard of doesn't. It's an acquired taste for most people, beer. As well as coffee. Coffee's an acquired taste too. Most people don't like coffee the first time they try it either.
Coffee was just like, the first time I had it, I was like, oh, nice.
The flavor even? Well, but was it like a sweet coffee with a bunch of cream and sugar and stuff?
It was black, but it was iced.
Oh, okay. I think I liked coffee ice cream first. That was the first coffee flavored thing. But that's just ice cream that also happens to taste a little bit like coffee.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good stuff.
Yeah, my first beer was with my dad when I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
We got done haying out in the hayfield. I had hay fever so bad, my eyes were just little red slits, and my nose was running like a faucet.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad went in the house, and he got 2 of those little 8-ounce Olies. That's what he used to get, those 8-ounce Olies. And he gave me one, and I had one. He said, son, my dad started drinking with me when I was 7, and I'm going to start drinking with you when you're 7.
Wow. How did it go from there?
Oh, it went really good. Yeah.
He never stopped drinking beer since then.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with beer when I was a kid because we lived right next to the Olympia Brewery. I mean, not next to it, but it was right there. 4 miles away.
Didn't you and your friends used to ride your bikes down there and go sneak into the tours and drink beer?
One of my best friend's father was a tour guide. So we'd ride our bikes down after school. And we had these little paper cups, little wax paper cups.
Yeah.
And you could fold them flat and put them in your back pocket.
Okay.
Right? And then you get in with the tour. They had 21,000-gallon tanks down in the basement of beer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And each one of them had a little tap on it,
Yep.
And so we'd take our cups out, open the tap, and we'd drink beer, and we'd let, a couple tours go by, and then when his dad came back around, we'd join that tour, go back up.
So you just loop with your little paper cups in your back pocket.
We would sit down there behind those tanks sometimes for hours.
How old were you at this point?
14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I wasn't 7. But
no, I knew you weren't 7. I was guessing like 12 or something.
Yeah,
but
no.
14 makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
Still, probably.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school.
Uh-huh.
It
sounds like a thing that you do as a freshman in high school.
But we were...
Not that I would know.
We all liked beer. All my friends and I, we really liked beer.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard...
It's like, after school, let's go get a beer.
Maybe it was a little easier back then to get away with.
Yeah, sure was. You couldn't do that nowadays at all.
No. Yeah, you wouldn't get away with that.
No.
Yeah. Welcome to the Scent and Bent podcast. This is our very first podcast with Chris, the Sandman, and he's been getting more and more on the show. I think having more and more fun with us. I think he wants to be on the show more and more often. So we figured, let's get on the podcast and let the people really know who you are.
And tell some stories, because Chris is the person that taught me to weld 20 years ago. So actually, it's more than 20 years. Oh, man, I'm getting old.
That was way back when you got kicked out of Waldorf school.
No, it was before that.
Yeah.
Chris has been waiting to be on the podcast for like years now, just to tell everybody that I got kicked out of the Waldorf school.
We'll get there for sure. But where did you start? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Little Rock, Washington, on a beef ranch. Well, it started out as a beef ranch, and one of my neighbors was a retired farmer from Eastern Washington, and we called him Mr. Phil. That was his name, and he always wore striped bib overalls.
So it's like life. Blue and white striped, the little vertical thin little stripes. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was the one that first taught me a lot about mechanics, and he was the one that taught me how to stick weld when I was 11.
That's about how old I was when you taught me to MIG weld.
Yeah. And I learned a lot from him. And then the neighbor boys, they lived really close. They were a quarter mile away, and they were always into cars, working on some kind of car.
The geese are coming to join the podcast.
Yeah, they're coming in the garage. So your neighbor kids were always working on a car?
Yeah. And I learned how to drive in the 1952 GMC two-wheel drive 3/4 ton truck. And it had no box on the back, and it was a 4-speed on the floor. And me and those neighbor boys, we ran that thing into the ground. Yeah.
Just racing, jumping, or just doing work on the farm?
Yeah, around the farm, we had a lot of stuff on a lot of roads around on my dad's farm, and they had a little farm ahead of us. My dad's driveway was a quarter mile long, and we lived at the end of it. And so we'd go up and down the driveway and up and down the driveway,
Just back and forth.
That's, I first motorcycle I had, real motorcycle, I had a moped at first, but it was a Honda CT70H, and I bet I went up and down that driveway 1,000,000 times.
That sounds like Edwin to this day on any little machine.
Yeah.
Just laps
just
over and over and over
little
again.
Kid on his first dirt bike.
Well, what I always tell everybody is when we're hanging out here and not during filming time, because then we're about getting the shot and stuff, but if we're on a weekend or whatever having a party, myself and most other people will do 3 or 4 laps of the track and be like, okay, now what I'm going to do next. Edwin will just keep going till the battery's dead or it's out of gas, which is how we all were when we were, 10 or 12 or whatever, when we had our first bike or whatever it was.
Some of us never grow up,
Exactly.
That can be a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's...
Well, it is for you now, especially.
Yeah. I'm just starting to grow up.
Yep.
Oh, you rolled, the last 2 times you hang out with us, you rolled an excavator each time. So, I mean, I think you're still playing like a kid.
Yeah.
And you didn't have to be in there either. Ethan was trying to get a turn, and you were like, no, teeny weenie's mine.
That's right. That was mine.
Yeah.
You had to get it up the hill.
Yeah. Yep. So what was it like growing up on the farm?
Oh, it was pretty good. I had 3 sisters and a brother. My brother was way younger than me, about 9 years younger. And so he was just kind of like a sister, He would scream like one of the girls. And
you're just throwing your brother under the bus. First podcast.
Well, his brother's not alive anymore, so he can't really be insulted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my little brother, God bless his soul, man, he was a piece of work, that one. Yeah, but growing up on the farm was pretty cool. I had a lot of 4-H cows and steers that I raised, and went to fairs and shows, and our family had a champion fat steer at the Thurston County Fair in Olympia, Washington for 11 years, and 9 years of it was mine.
Nice.
And I've always had a real good thing with animals, and my father was a veterinarian, so I spent a lot of time with him when I was a kid. And I always had my own dog. I had, my own cat. I had my own cow. I had my own steers that I raised. And
so the whole time I've known you, you've always had a Jack Russell named Sparky.
Yeah.
What did you have for a dog when you were a kid?
Well, I had the first dog I had. Her name was Beep.
That's a great name for a dog.
Was that censoring for a swear word you wanted to name it?
No. Her name was Beep.
Okay.
Was she always in the way? You'd be like, beep, beep, get out of the way?
Yeah. And, one of the first things I've done with all my dogs when they're puppies, let's teach him how to ride the motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And she was the first one that I taught how to ride a motorcycle. And she would ride everywhere with me, you know, go anywhere I went with that motorcycle. She was.
Did she like sit on the gas tank between your legs, or
Yep. And I took one of those old Imperial margarine butter tins, you know, and I took a pair of glasses, you know, like this sunglasses flippers, you know, and wired it to that, and I put it on it. I put it around her neck with a piece of elastic, and you know, that was her crash helmet, and she would wear that thing forever.
That's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what kind of dog was this?
Well, she was part Airedale, but she was really small. She was like a blonde, like a small blonde Labrador size kind of.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, because I know that when I met Sparky, you were like, "Oh, that's nothing," and you showed me a picture of him wearing a helmet on your 4-wheeler. He had like a black helmet on.
Yeah.
Well, these days they make dog-sized helmets. I imagine they didn't, 50-something years ago.
Well, the helmet he has now, I got on our trip in 2006 to Inuvik.
Oh, you still that's still the same one?
Yeah.
It was a display model, wasn't it?
Right. It was.
Oh, really?
And it just fits his head, you know, and I cut out the mouthpiece so he could,
For
his nose to stick
snout,
out.
So you just talked him into selling it to you, and then
Yep.
wow, do they fall? Is that why you put them on helmets? Or you just think it's cute?
Well, I mean, not that it's cute, but, you know, it's also safe.
Yeah, a bit of both. Yeah.
Okay.
But Sparky loves it, you know, because he gets a lot of attention from people when he has his helmet on.
Right.
So he knows that he's going to get attention
And probably treats. And,
Yeah.
The simple life of a dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're just roaming the driveway back and forth on your motorcycle.
Yeah, it was a Honda CT78. It had a 4-speed and a clutch.
I wanted one of those when I was a kid, but
Boy, they were fun.
they were a lot harder to find by the
Yeah.
time I was motorcycle age.
They're just little, little trail wheels.
Yep,
And,
little tiny.
yeah, I think the top speed was 40 miles an hour.
Right.
You know, but they climb a telephone pole in low gear.
Gearing is everything, huh?
Oh
Yep.
yeah. I put it in low gear, and I had this special rope that I made that had a hay hook on the end, and I would hay hook 110-pound bale of alfalfa hay, and then roll it over so the hook was pulling into it and pulling up, and I tied the other end to the rack on my 70.
And then drag it around
And drag it out to the cows.
Really?
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was way easier than using the wheelbarrow.
Oh, yeah. And way more fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But we raised about 50 head of beef a year, and all the way up until I left home, which was at 16. And then there wasn't anybody to do the chores anymore, so my dad quit raising beef and talked my little brother in to start raising corn and pumpkins and garlic. They raised garlic there for about 10 years.
I remember that. That was when I went over there with you once many years ago. That was when your dad was still doing the garlic.
Yeah. Didn't you come over and help do the roof?
No, I don't think it was the roof. I don't remember what I came. It was
Something you came and helped with.
I did,
Yeah.
but we were only there for like a day or two, and that was like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Maybe 30.
Well, it couldn't have been 30 because I would have been 5.
Oh.
So we didn't know each other yet at that point.
Yeah.
Where'd you go when you were 16?
Well, I kind of had an ousting with my parents. They were very Catholic, and I had to milk once a day, every day. And I couldn't go anywhere or have fun with any of my friends because I had to milk the cow once a day. And so when I was 16, I got balls enough to go to my parents and say, I'm not milking that cow anymore, and I'm not going to that church anymore.
Uh-huh.
And my mom said, well, you don't live here anymore.
That's harsh.
Yeah. So I left, and I went and lived with some of my friends, one of the friends that I'd been going to school with, and they had a really big house in the extra room, and I lived there till I got out of school, and then I moved over here. I got a girlfriend that her mom had some property right here on the mountain, just up the road.
Right.
And first time I came here was in 1975.
So you've been here your whole adult life.
Yep.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
wild. I didn't know that.
I'm almost a native.
Yeah. Yeah. And Yeah, and you've lived elsewhere for little periods of time, but pretty much here.
Yeah,
most of the time. Well, because you lived down in Harpster for a little bit, or down near Kamei.
I lived down there for about almost 2 years.
Right.
And then I spent some time back and forth on the farm after I got older, helping my parents with the pumpkins and the corn. But I lived in Alaska for a couple of years.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was forgetting about that too.
Yeah. And I worked up there quite a bit, and I would fly back and forth.
Right.
But I really liked it up there too.
Alaska's really cool.
What part of Alaska were you in?
I lived in Homer for the most part, a little bit in Anchorage, but in Homer mostly. And I was really bummed at my parents because at my little sister's wedding, my high school sweetheart came and got her daughter from me, and never said anything. And she just took the daughter at the end of the wedding and left. And my parents said that that she should be with her mother. Well, I had her for about almost 8 months before that. And because her mother had left her with me. And so I got really bummed out, and I put my backpack together and I put my nail pouch on the back of it, and I hitchhiked to Alaska.
You hitchhiked all the way?
I did.
From Olympia to Alaska?
Yeah,
wow.
I did.
You have a passport, or back then was it just like, you got an ID?
I mean, even when I was a kid, you didn't need a passport to get into Canada.
No.
Wow. So what was that trip like?
Some sort of ID.
And I just got a ride with the first ride to get me across the border. Well, it was actually a second ride. Was this middle-aged lady, and she went back and forth a lot, and the Border Patrol and everybody knew her, and she just told them that I was one of her relatives. And I went right in,
Wow.
So you're still pretty young.
Yeah, I was 18, at the time. And then I hitchhiked all the way to a place in Alaska that was about it was the crossroads where you just went into Alaska, and you would go down to Anchorage or north to Fairbanks.
Isn't it one of the most dangerous highways to hitchhike in North America?
Well, I don't know.
I think that's what it's considered now, but no, I'm just saying, like, if you get left out there, there's some stretches that are nothing.
Just emptiness for miles.
I mean,
and lots of bears.
One of the guys I was riding with, we went through a couple of spots where there was like a D8 Caterpillar and a cable like a quarter mile long. And if you wanted to get to the other side, you hooked your car onto the cable, and they pulled you to the other side, just drug you through the mud.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, because the road wasn't there yet.
It was just
or it had washed out in places. And
so the dozers were just there ready to go.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were working on the road too, trying to get it back together, but they would just,
Was it a public service? They charge you?
No, it was public.
Because they were there to build the road. They just would help you drag you through, yeah.
And it was just a long cable with a bunch of little short cables with hooks on it, and you just hook it onto your rig if you wanted to go,
Really?
They just drug you through.
That's crazy.
I mean, in some places, you couldn't even see the tires. They were totally buried, in the mud and stuff.
You're just a boat at that point.
Yeah.
So if you had a lower car, you just couldn't drive to Alaska.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then,
what time of year is this?
It was in summer.
Okay.
Yeah, it was it was probably just after breakup.
So yeah, early down here would be early summer. Up there would be spring.
Yeah, it was. In fact, it was in May.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember the month. It was in May, and then I almost got to where I was going. And
so did you have a goal of did you know somebody up there or know of a job or what?
Well, yeah, I was going up to work as an electrician in Anchorage with this guy that I knew.
Oh, okay.
Who was a journeyman.
Yeah.
And in between times, hitchhiking and getting up there, he got fired.
Whoops.
Because he didn't show up on time, or
that didn't work out. And I'm not sure why he got fired, but he got fired and moved back down here.
Oh, okay.
And so I was almost to where I was going to get to him, and I got robbed.
Uh-oh.
I got in the car, and this guy pulled the gun on me and told me to leave all my stuff.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was kind of scary because he had a gun pointed right at me.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so then I I got out of the car, and he just went half a mile down the road around the corner and got what he wanted. He got my wallet and money out and threw the rest of my stuff out on the ground in the ditch. And I was like walking down the road going, oh, man, I'm screwed now. I don't have a tent. I don't have my sleeping bag. I don't have my tools. You know, how am I going to go
make
to work?
It back into the States yet in Alaska, or were you still in Canada without your wallet?
This was just when I got into Alaska.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I was about 150 miles from Anchorage, I guess.
Welcome to America. Oh my God.
So I walked down the road and I'm like, I don't believe it. Here's all my stuff. You know, he just wanted the money I had.
Right.
And my wallet. Of course, he kept my wallet. But
right.
So I got my pouch together and put my backpack all together. I mean, he went through everything, just threw it out the window, you know.
Right.
Piece at a time, you know.
So you find a piece every 100 yards or so.
So I got it all together, and I got to Anchorage, and this guy that I was going to go to work for had been fired, and I thought, well, I'll just go to Homer and work in the cannery for a little bit and make enough money to fly home. So I went down to Homer, hitchhiked down to Homer. That's another 250 miles down the Kenai Peninsula. And I was hitchhiking out of the spit. Down, you know, the cannery was way out on the end of this spit. It was like a little peninsula. They called it a spit. Mm-hmm. And there was a big cannery, and all the boat docks and everything were out there, and all the fishing boats would come in there. And so I was hitchhiking out there, and this guy stopped and picked me up. He said, I saw your nail pouch on the back of your backpack. And he said, you want a job? And I said, sure.
Wow.
And yeah, and he was a very interesting man. He was a chiropractor, and he was married to a chiropractor who her specialty was little kids and babies and that had back problems. Huh. And yeah, his name was Dr. Keith Godfrey. And I worked over there for almost 2 years before I went back home. Well, he actually made me go home for Christmas one year because I hadn't talked to my parents for a long time. And he made me go home for Christmas, but I actually stood there and worked for 2 years and built all kinds of stuff there for them.
So you stayed there the first winter, just dark as all get, all winter, and just stuck through it?
It wasn't that dark there, you know. It was, you know, if you went further north to Anchorage or up towards Fairbanks, it would be dark for like 22, 21 hours of the day.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there. That's way down south. You know?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Homer is, it's in the southern, like the little strip where Alaska comes down the side of Canada.
Oh,
where like Juneau and all that is. Yeah. That area is, I mean, it's farther north than we are, but not by a whole heck of a lot.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So,
and it was pretty fair weather there too.
Oh,
yeah, because it's right next to the ocean. It doesn't get that cold.
Right.
Like Juneau is warmer than here.
Way warmer.
Yeah, way warmer.
Yeah.
So you didn't even, when you first arrived, you didn't even have a place to stay or anything? You're just going to wing it?
Yeah, I was just going to go down and, you know, there was a lot of places you could camp there in the town of Homer. And
was there a lot of jobs, like more opportunity than there was?
Oh, yeah. The cannery was always hiring people.
Okay.
Always.
So you knew you'd find something.
Yeah, I knew I could find something, but this guy found me. You know?
Just literally. And did you walking on the street picking up your stuff?
Well, he was going home, and he had a little Zodiac boat, and he actually lived across the bay from Homer.
Mm.
And he would drive back and forth, and his office was on the Homer side, and he lived at a little place over there called Champagne Cove, and it was kind of like, it was like on the way to a town called Seldovia. And
oh, cool.
Yeah.
I know someone who has a cabin there.
In Seldovia.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother part of the story, but I ended up getting a job.
Well, that's what the podcast is for. Let's hear the whole story.
I ended up getting a job running an excavator and digging the new water line for Seldovia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And you already knew how to do an excavator, or you just figured it out on the job?
I had run one quite a bit down here in the States, and I grew up on a backhoe. My dad had a little Kubota backhoe that we used a lot on the farm.
Okay. So you know what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I ended up getting that job, and that was a really good job. I brought home $1,500 a week take home, and that was in 1979.
Yeah, that was good pay then.
That was really good pay.
Yeah, no kidding.
So you went from being basically homeless to getting paid $1,500 in like a short spread of time, huh?
I've always been a worker, and I always liked to work. And, actually, Dr. Keith knew the guy that was the contractor that was doing the job, and that's how I got it. So he got me the job, but yeah, it was a really good job. But living there in Champagne Cove, back to that, it was so good because we go out every Saturday and check the crab pots, and we could have fresh crab.
Oh.
And then they had some shrimp pots, and we could get shrimp.
Crustaceans.
We all know how much Edwin loves crustaceans.
I love eating
and
crustaceans.
Fish.
And they had the only freshwater creek coming down from the mountain behind them within 5 miles either way.
Along the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the salmon would all come by there, and they'd smell the fresh water, to see if it was where they should go up and spawn.
Right.
And he had a subsistence permit. So he had a big buoy like way out in the water with a big loop of rope. And so we hooked that little boat on and just let it float out there, so it would be way out of the tide. You know? And then we'd hook on a little subsistence gill net, and we'd pull that in every morning. And during salmon season, we get 7 or 8 salmon every day.
Wow, that's a lot of fish.
Yeah.
Salmon's a big fish. It's not like you catch one and eat the whole thing.
Yeah. But these were silvers and pinks.
So not the huge ones, but still,
ones, yeah. But we did go fishing several times over on the Copper River.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, his wife one day caught a Copper River king salmon that weighed 76 pounds.
Good Lord, that's a big fish.
That doesn't even sound like a real thing.
It was over 4 feet long. And
that's insane.
And it was just huge, Well, she had it stuffed, what they do, taxidermy.
Taxidermy, yeah.
Yeah, to it. And then it was put in her office, but she had that fish online.
That goose.
What are they doing? The goose have come into the garage and they're just eating stuff during our podcast.
One of them's chewing on a bucket, and the other one is just trying to eat a bolt. Like it just keeps picking up. Oh no, that's a piece of rubber. Never mind.
Wow, he must need some iron.
Yeah.
Anyways, such is the way of the Set and Bent podcast.
Yeah,
interrupted by some kind of animal.
Bolt. Look at that.
Just carrying it around.
Oh, that was rubber or whatever.
I think it was. Yeah, I thought it was a bolt, but it was just a piece of rubber hose.
Those birds are so weird.
They're really silly.
Yeah. Man.
Anyway,
sounds like you had it made. Why'd you come back? You had a good job. You're fishing every day.
Well, because I wanted to come back here. This was after I'd spent a lot of time here with my high school sweetheart, her grandfather, just up the road. Mm-hmm. I wanted to buy some property here.
Yeah.
So once you made some money, you came back to.
Yeah. I came back and I bought 10 acres, which is right next to you.
Basically, yeah. It's like one driveway up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and so then I built a little shack up there.
It was bare land when you got it?
Yep. There was nothing on it.
Oh, wow. So you've done a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole other long story, but yeah.
Yeah.
Ended up, being a contractor around here for years after that, and living in a modular home instead of building my own. But
yeah, you had just got that when I moved here.
Yeah,
pretty recently. What year did you? Because I remember it was basically brand new when I moved here in '99.
Yeah. Yep.
So you got it like 98 or something like that, or 96 or?
I think we got it in 97 because that's when grouping ended.
Right.
Was 97.
Yeah, and for those of you, which is everyone pretty much, Groupin was a business that Chris owned for a while that made recycling equipment.
Waste and recycling equipment, yeah.
So like big conveyor belts and shredders and
fluffers.
Yeah.
And all kinds of different hoods and stuff that went on balers, and then we made the conveyors that would feed the balers. And they would go from underground and uphill and then turn and dump into a big hood or a fluffer. And a fluffer was basically a machine that would take phone books or newspapers or, anything that was thick like that, fluff them up so they got better bale integrity. Otherwise, when you're baling them, you just have all these big voids everywhere because of there were books.
Oh, because it's so hard, it wouldn't compress. It'd just be around it.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And
Is it like a big blender looking thing, or how did it fluff it up?
Well, yeah, basically it was just, like a helicopter blade inside of a big metal box. But
wow, that sounds sketchy.
But no, it was made out of AR plate, 1.5 thick AR plate, the blade.
Jeez, that's a big chunk of AR plate. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then it took us a long time to develop the tooth that wouldn't catch the paper.
Oh, so you're inventing this stuff.
But would fluff
You weren't
it.
just like building something
Well,
from
his business partner was the engineer, and Chris was the one putting it all together.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he was like inventing this stuff, and you were building it to see if it worked.
Well, we kind of invented it together because, how some engineers are. They have these grandiose ideas that don't really work.
Or that you can't build.
Yeah.
It looks great on paper, but then you go, oh, how do we get this bolt in?
Yeah.
I remember the first one we made, and we turned it on, and we threw a phone book in there, and it threw it back and hit him in the head.
Oh. Brutal.
Yeah.
It's like, nope.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
So what ended up working?
Well, it was all about the tooth that was on it, and it had to be so it didn't grab anything, but yet it would still shred up the paper. And once we finally figured that out and started making them, we made a lot of money making those things. And, fiber was a big thing back then. People were stealing cardboard because it was worth $300 a ton.
Jeez. People were stealing it? How do you steal it?
Out of like a recycle bin outside of a business. Like people just go by and...
all these businesses like Kmart and
why was it that expensive?
And all those, they have a compactor out back that they throw all their cardboard in.
Oh, and then they'd steal it and bring it in
people would go in there at
themselves.
night and steal it and then
sell it to them.
Sell it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What changed?
Well, what changed was it went from $300 a ton to $8 a ton in 2 weeks in 1997.
Was it some kind of government subsidy or something? Or
no,
China was buying it all.
China ended up buying, Russia had been storing it, tons and tons and tons of it. And they dumped it all on the market, and China just bought from them and quit buying from over here.
Oh, because China didn't have enough pulp to make their own?
Right. And the fiber, it's called fiber.
Okay.
And they can take, paper is still quite a bit of fiber in it. They can take paper and turn it into toilet paper, or they can take cardboard and make, several different
grades of
cardboard.
Like for example, your cereal box would be like recycled.
Yeah.
Corrugated cardboard is the longest fiber strand.
Right.
So you start with that, and every time it gets recycled, the fibers get shorter and shorter until you're at toilet paper, and then obviously you can't recycle that because, well...
well, reasons.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So Russia was stockpiling it and China was buying all of ours, so it was very valuable, so people were recycling it and then selling it to China.
Yep.
And so what happens now?
At that time, Russia was doing a lot of there was a lot of countries breaking free from Russia that had
from the USSR.
Yeah. That had stored tons of it too,
Oh.
And so it just dropped to nothing.
Huh.
And
why were they stockpiling it? Just because they thought they might need it, or
that's a good question.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, the neighbor boy's dad was a longshoreman, and he loaded, the most beautiful Douglas fir logs on the ships that went to Japan, and the Japanese sunk them in the harbor and stored them. They had huge storage areas over there, under salt water.
Mm-hmm.
And they were getting all of our beautiful wood,
Huh.
And I don't know why other countries do that.
Right. I'm sure we do the same thing with other stuff. We just
basically fiber,
right. Yeah.
So.
Well, I know that China now stockpiles steel and cement.
Yep.
Like they've bought most of the supply of the world and a lot from Australia, I believe.
Yeah.
But it's like I get having a stockpile of food, but
a stockpile of cardboard is kind of odd.
It's like a weird thing to make a massive priority.
It's especially weird for Russia because Russia has a lot of trees.
Yeah. So what? Maybe they just couldn't.
They might not
some kind of trade agreement or something.
Well, I mean, or maybe they wanted to mess with us with the market for us. I don't know.
That's interesting.
I mean, so then it just killed the recycling market here in the States
overnight.
So how long did you have it going before all that happened?
10 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you had enough time to capitalize on your inventions a little bit.
Yep. We made a lot of money. We made good money, and we did a lot of systems for the military.
Recycling systems for the military?
Right. And all over, I mean, all the different forts, Fort Bragg, Fort Lewis, I mean, all through California, all the bases.
And how many employees did you have? Like, how big was this business?
Well, we got up to 12 employees. And it just wasn't working. And I got it down to 6 really good guys. And we could make one of those fluffers in 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And the basic fluffer with one blade, and it had a 90-degree door, so you fluffer out, fluffer in, you know what I mean? So it was a 90-degree piece of plate and then another piece of plate to that 90 degrees. And so the blade was on one side. So it would actually be an open chute one way or a fluffer blade inside of it the other way.
Mm.
So what happens if it came in the open chute side?
Well, that's when they did cans, or when they did like recycled regular paper.
So it would tear them up, the cans?
No. The
cans would go past the fluffer, so it had like a bypass door.
Right.
Oh, exactly. So you throw all the stuff you want to recycle on a conveyor belt.
Right.
The fluffer fluffs the cardboard, and then it leaves the cans for the next.
Well, no, basically it would just fluff newspapers, phone books. Yeah. Stuff that was
so
that.
You would have already sorted out the cans and stuff.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And so what does this 90-degree thing do?
Well, it was just a big box, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And the door was shaped like, like that.
Yeah.
And fluffer in, fluffer out.
So like it's in a long line of machines, right? Like, so conveyor belt, fluffer, other machine, compactor.
Well, no, it's above the baler.
Okay, it's above the baler, so it's dropping straight into the baler. But
I see.
Like if you're baling cans, you don't need to fluff them.
Right.
So then you close that chute, and they come up the same conveyor from being sorted beforehand.
Nice.
They'd go past the
so you don't
fluffer into the baler.
It saves you from using multiple balers and multiple conveyor belts.
It's all the same.
Right.
Okay.
The same assembly line, if you will, or disassembly line.
And you guys figured all that stuff out from nothing.
Yeah. Well, Jefferson was pretty good, and he had worked a little bit for a company in Spokane that built small machines. Little tiny toy machines, and the stuff we built was really big. And the other things we developed was a giant conveyor that you could put in a recycling place that they could just push the material onto, because most places would use a big loader and scoop it up and then dump it onto the belt. So
you built one that was in ground,
right? Exactly.
Doesn't Pacific Steel have one of those?
Yep.
Was it one that you guys build that one originally?
Yep, we did.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yep.
I'd never thought to make that connection before, because I've seen that thing 100 times when we're there buying metal.
So you've probably done more Pacific Steel runs than.
Well, yeah,
combined.
Their shop was in Post Falls, though, not in Sandpoint, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you'd still live up here and drive all the way up to Post Falls.
Well, I stayed down there during the week.
Oh, okay.
I had a fifth wheel trailer I stayed in during the week, and then Friday afternoon I would come home and I wouldn't go back down till.
And then you'd
Monday
work
morning.
on the property on the weekend and fly and what have you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a great run, and we made some really cool machines. Yeah. We actually made a solid steel belt conveyor that carried cars to a car crusher, a breakup hammer.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, and it was actually just a bunch of big hammers attached to a big drum going around with chain.
And it would just
hammer these cars.
Really?
Into powder.
Really?
Yeah.
How big were the hammers? Like a couple 100 pounds each, or?
No, they probably not much more than 50 pounds each.
Okay, so they're like, a foot square or something like that.
So just go bam, 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 bam.
Well, they were hooked onto a chain, and then the chain was hooked onto this big drum.
And they're probably like staggered like diagonally around it, right, in sort of a spiral.
That's cool.
Yeah, and we built the conveyor that fed the cars to it.
Wow.
So, in fact, when we go up there to get some of the steel sorted out one of these days with you guys, I'll show you a chain belt machine that we made. It was a machine that we actually assembled chain belt on. And so you would have a piece of rubber belt with holes in the right places, and you would actually bolt steel cleats to it. And
for the top of the conveyor belt to it'd be a piece of angle iron to drag the stuff on the conveyor on the rubber belt along.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, we had a guy on each side of it, and we just a hydraulic motor, and we just wind it up. And
I helped you build a replacement belt for one of the conveyors with Asa. You and Asa ran you guys were bolting the cleats on, and I was in the forklift running the hydraulic motor.
Yeah.
You just hook it to the auxiliaries on the forklift. So you just sit there in the forklift and run them. You spin it forward. It would roll the conveyor up onto a spool, and then
roll the belt up. Yeah.
Roll the belt. The company, was it this China buying the pulp from other people? Is that what ended it, or?
Yeah, that's what all ended it. Yeah.
Really?
And, there was another company across the freeway from us there in Post Falls, and they hung on, and they went like $2 million in debt. Before they finally went under, and it still hasn't ever come back. I mean, I think the last time I checked, it was only $58 a ton.
Which, accounting for inflation, that's probably about the same as $8.
Yeah.
Well, when I was at Pacific, and I was asking them about their cardboard and stuff, and because sometimes they don't even let you drop it off, and I'm like, well, don't you guys make money? And they're like, we basically do it to like support the community and like get people in here.
Yeah.
Like they're not even making money, even though they're getting. I bring all of our cardboard from our merchandise we sell on the website. There's a lot of cardboard. I go there all the time and just dump it off.
Right.
And like they're not even paying, and they're still hardly making money.
And they're not even hauling it.
Yeah,
they're not even paying to move the dumpster. You're dropping it off at the conveyor belt.
You're dropping it off there for free, and they're still barely making money. So that must be just the way it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they found better ways to get it from the trees too. I don't know.
No,
well, I mean that's all pretty much the same.
Yeah, I think that's all pretty much the same. But it's it's never come back to where it was. In 97.
Yeah. I mean the thing is, I don't think there ever really was a real demand for it that high, right? Like it was only that high because Russia had been buying it all and stockpiling it. Like I mean, like obviously it's still, if they're breaking even, then there's value in it, but not significantly more value than just
and like
growing trees.
Nowadays it costs way more to haul it.
Yep. Well, and also like the fiber itself is great, but there's staples and tape and paint and contaminants and pieces of glass because everybody mixes their recycling together these days. Like,
yeah.
If you could just get good, clean cardboard every time, it would be a different story. But
nowadays they call it commingled.
Commingled. Yep.
Yeah.
That's the mixed recycling. Yeah. Commingled.
I'm being so awkward. I just need to address it for the people watching the podcast. I keep moving. This chair doesn't have back support. And I have such bad whiplash from riding my roller coaster this weekend that I am I can like hardly even focus on the conversation. I'm so sore.
I was just telling Chris this morning how we did the speed run for you and pushed you around 28 times in 5 minutes.
Yeah, we saw. I think it was Mark's idea. He was like, "How many times can we do the roller coaster in 5 minutes?" And I was the rider for that. And holy smokes, it's a rough ride.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come over and try it soon,
Well,
Chris.
and you were going extra fast because we were we bypassed the little pedal mechanism and we're just shoving you over the top.
The hill, yeah.
So you had a little extra velocity coming off of it.
Oh yeah, I'm paying for it right now. I wasn't even like realized how sore I was until I tried sitting down for the podcast in a chair without a back.
Yeah.
But anyways, I didn't want to interrupt. I just wanted the people watching to know what's wrong with me. I don't have to use the bathroom or anything weird. I'm just going to be moving around a lot, so just don't pay attention to me.
You want to switch chairs?
No, we're good. We're good.
We have another one of those chairs up in the loft if you wanted it, really.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
But yeah,
I'm just like, excited to hear about this paper stuff. This is like a whole new world. Geez, the geezer really just want to be on the pod, man.
Yeah, Goose podcast. But yeah, I mean, before we get off of that topic, that's why we have that Piranha iron worker in the shop here. That's a remnant of grouping.
Oh, that because you have so many big like industrial size tools.
That was just what he kept.
Yeah, these aren't Tinker toys. These are like the real deal.
Yeah, they had a lot more tools that they sold off.
Yeah.
Yep, sold off quite a bit of them. But I kept the band saws and the saw line, and I kept we got a 120-ton Scotsman ironworker.
It's the big brother to the Piranha, because the Piranha's a 50-ton, right? Or
36.
36-ton. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that Scotsman's 120-ton. So it'll punch a huge hole
through like 1-inch plate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess you needed that if you were building spinny bits that were like 1.25 inches.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and there was a lot that went along with it, and on our sorting systems, there was always handrails and platforms and, legs and all kinds of stuff, And one of the systems we built was up in the air over bins. So when the people were sorting it or the machine was sorting it automatically, it would gravity would pull it down into the right bin that it was supposed to go into.
Oh.
And so... yeah, that's when we got into commingled sorting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And nowadays, they don't have that very much. You got to put your glass in this one. You got to put your paper in this one.
Well, they still do it around here. I mean, in Sandpoint or in Spokane, they do the mixed recycling there still, which is not good. Yeah. I dated a girl for a very brief time that worked in the Spokane recycling and trash department or whatever it's called. And yeah, she was like, it's stupid because when you put it all in one bin, it just ruins everything.
Yeah, it contaminates
It makes all of the recycling worth nothing. Like it was already worth almost nothing.
Now it's worth nothing.
And now it's worth nothing because your paper has glass in it. Everything has glass in it.
I always wonder if like everything I throw in my blue bin is just getting thrown in because they put it in the same truck and I'm like, I think I'm getting scammed. I think they're charging me extra for recycling and that it's all going in the same dump.
A lot of it is, but it's actually, we don't have, obviously, you guys know this, but we don't have a landfill here in Bonner County or Boundary County, any of the counties in the panhandle of Idaho. We don't have a landfill. Mm-hmm. So all of our trash gets shipped out of state.
And then they put it in a landfill?
Well, yes, but also a lot of it probably goes to Spokane, and Spokane has a waste-to-energy facility where they burn it and turn it into electricity.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's actually, it's not the worst, and especially if you're thinking like you're recycling and stuff, what they can't sell, which is most of it, because there's hardly any market for any of the plastics, because it takes more money to remake the plastic than it does to just make new stuff out of petroleum.
So they just burn it?
Yep, and a lot of the paper too, that like they'll sort out what they can, but a lot of it's too contaminated, and so they just throw it all.
Burn hot enough to not put nasty stuff in the air?
Well, they burn it insanely hot, but they also have insane like filters and acid scrubbers and all sorts of crazy stuff on that cleans the smoke that comes out. So by the time
catalytic converters and all kinds of stuff,
all sorts of stuff. So there's nothing nasty. I mean, there's a bunch of horribly toxic like ashes and stuff that they have to go bury somewhere else. But it's like a millionth of the volume or a thousandth of the volume of what it would have been. And it's all the same stuff. Now it's just powder instead.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that makes me feel good about the merch side of our business then. Because like I've always been really like bring my own bag to the grocery store. Like, and I know Ethan is even more extreme than me on that and like has every bolt. He's taken off of anything since he was 12. But like,
that's why our second channel is called Bonus Bolts.
Yeah, exactly. But like, man, when we started selling like bulk shirts and stuff, and like I feel so guilty about some of the trash, but we're really good. We have like compostable bags. We put our shirts in. We like get everything in bulk by like a local. Like all of our shirts are printed here in North Idaho, so like they just ship them a box of shirts, and then they print the shirts, put them in the same box, and then drive them to our garage, and then that's where we package them and stuff.
But even so, it ends up with an insane amount of cardboard and stuff.
Yeah, and I recycle the cardboard, but all the other stuff I feel guilty about.
Yeah.
But knowing that it's going to energize our neighbors in Spokane is pretty cool.
I mean, probably. Like, I assume that... I would assume it's not always the same. Like, it's kind of like with the whole Russia-China thing, like whoever's willing to take it at the time. Because I heard years ago that it was Oregon that took all of our trash. But then, so it's probably changing around here and there, and like, who knows? But
I'm sure it comes up for bid.
Exactly. It's a bid to like who's going to take it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Who will haul our trash for the lowest bid.
Yeah. Exactly.
But anyway...
Also, if you do buy a shirt or a hat or anything from grindhardplumbingco.com right now, you do get entered to win the new side-by-side. So,
that thing is way too much fun.
Yeah. What did you think about that, Chris? You drove it the other day.
Oh, I really like them.
And it's a Razor Turbo R4 Ultimate, which is the 4-seater with all the options. So it's like the sound system.
Dynasty.
What?
Suspension.
Dynamics. Chris.
No, it says Dynasty.
No, it says Dynamics. I promise you. It says Dynamics with an X, Chris. It says Dynamics.
It was Fox Live Valve suspension.
It is. Dynamics is just like a branding thing for it. It is Fox Live Valve. So Live Valve is Fox's name.
Trimmer kit for the Ford.
Exactly. So it's Live Valve is what Fox calls it, no matter what vehicle's in it. It's in. Dynamics with an X at the end is what Polaris calls it. So they can put a sticker on it that says something cool. It says Dynamics.
Yeah.
And that's, and they've got buttons on the steering wheel so you can control your shocks from the which is insanely cool.
Sick.
Yeah. The Turbo R Ultimate, it's like the highest trim package you can pretty much get for the Turbo R. The Pro R might have some higher ones, but
it's the smoothest thing I've ever been in. What do you think?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I've been in quite a few of them down in Baja, Mexico, and this thing, of course, it's been a couple years since I've been down there, but this thing is way smoother.
Yeah, it's insane.
Way smoother.
And I think that I haven't driven or been in a 4-seater before. Well, we drove one briefly this winter, but it was on track, so it's not like a comparison.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell.
Yeah.
Full speed was like 30 miles an hour. It was fun, but it was slow.
And tracks are like really heavy and rigid, and they're terrible for suspension. So, but yeah, the 4-seater is, I think, part of what makes it so smooth. I mean, obviously the 30 inches of Fox Live Valve travel helps, but
but it's the wheelbase.
The wheelbase makes it really stable.
Yeah,
like it just.
Sure.
That thing's awesome.
Yeah, we'll get to talking about Baja. That's a good segue there. But every dollar you spend on grindhardplumbingco.com gets you an entry to win. And this is one of our shortest giveaways we've done in like years. It's only 3 weeks. So it's already nearly half over. So you got to head over there and get on it. And we're selling out of a lot of merch quick. I had to actually unlist a few items for the website to hook up Chris. So I'll bring them. I'll bring the goods. I'll bring you the goods tomorrow so you can have the new stuff.
Right on.
But what's the first time you went to Baja? Where does your time in Baja?
Well,
where does land on the timeline? Your time.
Well, when I guess I was just about done with grouping. I had like 3 or 4 years left at grouping, and I started going to Baja.
Mm-hmm.
And I would. We had a lot of times in the winter where there wasn't much we could do at grouping, so I would go down there for a couple months and hang out.
And did you start going there because of Groff going down there?
Well,
or did you know other people?
I knew about Groff, but I knew other people too.
Yeah.
And my brother-in-law, Lee, and I went down to try to find a place that we could have to go to every winter.
Oh, to kind of just escape the winter and watch some racing and ride dirt bikes.
Get out of the
eat
snow.
Tacos, hang out on the beach.
Yeah. I mean, tacos. Oh, my God. Mexican tacos, street tacos.
We got to go even just watch the Baja 1000 one of these days just to get some tacos.
I got to take Edwin to San Felipe and watch the 1000.
Well, I haven't.
What are we doing this winter?
Well, it happens in November.
Yeah. Well, and we also happen to know one of the best trophy truck drivers out there right now, Christopher Pulvardi. So we'll see if we can. He said he'd get us on his pit crew or on one of his chase trucks.
That would be crazy.
We'll see.
Yeah. Wow. But I've been watching those trophy trucks for years.
Yeah.
Years and years.
When was your first time?
And for the Baja?
Yeah.
Well, see, San Felipe has the Baja 250.
It's called the San Felipe 250, in fact, because it starts and ends in the town that he
San Felipe.
That's where he goes.
Yeah.
So you got a place there with your brother-in-law?
Well, we had a house there for 16 years.
Oh, cool.
And then, we don't have it anymore. But then I started, the whole time I was down there, I was doing, different work for different people and building different things around. And then I went down to San Luis Gonzaga, which is another 100 miles further down the Baja, and started working for a lot of these Americans.
Because there's a huge retirement,
it's like an
San
expat
Felipe
community.
Yeah, San Felipe is more retired white people than it is Mexicans.
Yeah,
Really?
Legitimately, yeah.
Oh wow,
it's insane.
It would grow by 35,000 people in the winter, and then they would all leave in the summer.
Oh,
it gets way too hot in the summer.
Yeah, it's like 110 or whatever.
Yeah, with 100% humidity too.
Yeah, because you're on the ocean.
Yeah. So and we ended up going down there for like 4 months out of the year. And I did that for quite a few years. In fact, I didn't go the last couple years because I got a new knee. And then last year, it was just a lot going on with family stuff. And so I didn't make it down there. But built some really beautiful, nice houses on the beach, White Sandy Beach in Mexico, in San Luis Gonzaga.
Chris, you're always, the whole time I've known you, and from all the stories, your whole life basically, you've been building other people really nice houses.
Yeah.
You've built a couple that were supposed to be for you over the years, but even then, very few.
Yeah.
Like, really only one that I know of that you actually built kind of the way you wanted it. And then you left that behind for reasons that are very valid. But you need to build yourself a house. Something that you want one of these days.
Yeah, I really want to build another underground house someday.
Yeah. Yep. Like a half, because the one you built was half underground, right? Kind of like the shop.
Well, tell us about that. What's that?
Right.
I haven't heard about this.
You haven't?
You built an underground house?
Not fully underground, half underground.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, 2 full stories were underground, and they only had one wall that was out of the dirt. The rest of it was.
Where was that?
It had like a normal tin roof, but then 2 stories. It basically like a 2-story version of what the shop is here, where the walls are all dirt.
Oh, that's cool. Was it like
concrete?
It was actually 3 stories. The upper story was the kitchen, and then the second story was the bedrooms and the living room, and then the third story down in the basement was storage, and we had a TV room down there, and that's where we'd spend a lot of time in the summer because it was 51 degrees
all year.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So,
but this was when we mentioned it earlier when he lived down in Harpster.
Yeah.
It's a little tiny town along the
Harpster and Kamei.
Oh. Is this along the Clearwater River or?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So were you ever involved in the racing in Baja, or was it like you were a fan just hanging out?
Well, yeah, a couple of years. Yeah, we were involved in being a chase vehicle.
Oh, cool. How's that?
And that's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work, and you spend a lot of time driving rather than watching the race.
Yeah, because you got to get from one pit stop to the next. And
so the last 10 years I've been going down there, I would hang out with all the people that I was building for, and we just go sit out and watch them. Watch them come by.
That's what we did when I went down there when I was a teenager. It's just we'd pick a spot and watch them go by.
And it's just amazing.
Yeah.
You see a 1,500 horsepower trophy truck come by, with 30 inches of travel.
But you hear it like 5 minutes ahead of time.
Right.
Even though it's going 100 miles an hour, you can still hear it for 5 minutes. If you haven't witnessed it, the sound of watching it is one thing, but the sound
is incredible.
It's insane because it's like he said, it's like a 1,500 horsepower, V8, whatever the heck they are these days.
Mm-hmm. And you can hear the suspension working.
Well, and
it's working so hard.
And the engine pitch changes because they're going across whoops that are like 4 feet deep and 12 feet apart. At 80 to 120 miles an hour.
So
they're just touching the tops of them.
But because of that, it makes the engine do this because it's loaded and unloaded every time it hits. They hit the top of a whoop, there's load.
So they're just holding the throttle down the whole time.
Fully wide open. And they're like they
but
probably
it goes from max load to no load, max load to
and
no
like
load.
Does that like 4 times a second or whatever. So it's just this and then it goes by and you smell the smell of race gas. Like, there's nothing like it.
That's so cool. I think it'd like be so sad is like the electrification of motorsport, which like it kind of seems like maybe electric is faster in some ways, but then again, I've heard that the new Koenigsegg is the fastest car just ever, period. Like 0 to 400K back to 0.
The Jesko Absolute?
Yeah, and it's 100% a petrol motor.
It is? I thought the Absolute version, or maybe they have a hybrid version that's way faster than the non-hybrid version.
Dang it.
Yeah, because I mean physics, like
I'm just repeating something I saw on Instagram, but I was like,
hybrid though.
The fastest car ever still goes rah, and that's what I want.
But it does though because it's a hybrid. The fastest Koenigsegg's are not fully electric. Koenigsegg actually said they don't plan on ever making a fully electric vehicle.
I just hope that remains to be the case because watching racing
that doesn't make noise
is so.
Well, the good news is, as long as Baja racing is a thing, I don't think they'll be going electric.
Yeah, because you can't. The energy density of the batteries will never make sense.
The trophy trucks, I mean, in a 250-mile race, they're probably refueling, 3 or 4, 5 times in a race to do 250 miles. And that's when you have like a 40-gallon fuel tank.
Yeah.
It's actually called a fuel cell.
Okay, yes, you're right. It is a fuel cell. Anyway, they still have to refuel a bunch, even with the insanely higher energy density of gasoline versus batteries, because the power, I mean, like 1,200 horsepower full throttle for 250 miles.
Yeah.
That's like this whole shop full of batteries would barely power that.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Well, the Baja 1000 is still the toughest off-road race in the world because you do all 1,000 miles straight.
Yeah, and you don't get to stop. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Jeez, that's so cool.
Yeah, and like people, I mean, it all depends on how you measure most difficult, because some people say the King of the Hammers is the most difficult, and that's the most technical because it's like insanely, it's like hardcore rock crawling mixed with desert racing.
But like the pit strategy and stuff is way easier.
Yeah, and it's only a couple hundred miles. It's not 1,000. Mm-hmm. So like I would tend to agree that the Baja's like more difficult because you just have to be on for 1,000 miles straight.
Yeah.
And some people Ironman it. Did you ever watch the movie Dust to Glory?
No.
You need to.
I
watched that.
You've met Jim Fishback before.
No, I don't think I ever met him.
You haven't?
No. But it's when you it's when you do the entire race yourself on a motorcycle.
Yeah.
All 1,000 miles.
He
no
did.
brakes. Wait,
Fishback
did? No, because
Fishback did on a Triumph 650.
No, because the first person to do it was the guy that they made the movie about.
Yeah, but Fishback was after that.
Oh, he was after that. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the movie Dust to Glory, it was like early 2000s, and this guy, I don't remember his name, but
and he won it.
Did he?
I guess that makes sense.
He won that class of the race.
Right.
How long did he take?
I don't remember.
22 hours.
20 something hours. Yeah.
In
nonstop.
one day,
dude, nonstop.
1,000
That's what we're
miles.
saying. And one person on a motorcycle in the desert for 1,000 miles without taking a break. I mean, you stop at a pit stop and you drink. I mean, he was hallucinating by the end of it. Like it was.
Yeah.
That sounds dangerous.
Dude, we need to have a movie night because Dust to Glory, that'll make you.
Oh, it's a great movie.
They did a good job with it.
It's a great movie.
So good, yeah.
What the heck? So you just get on a motorcycle. What was the motorcycle, the first guy that did it?
XR650. That's what everybody used back then. It was before 450s.
Okay.
Well, Fishback did it on a Triumph 650.
Well, okay,
I mean, before they made the adventure bike kind of suspension.
Sure. But yeah, but back then the XR650R, because there's the XR650L. Chris had one of those, and it's a street legal thing. It makes like 36 horsepower. They're really, really heavy and really not exciting power-wise.
Yeah.
But like before the modern 450 race bikes, so this was like early 2000s, the XR650R was like just the fastest dirt bike you could get.
Yep.
It had the most power and it was big and heavy, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing for Baja because like
you get toyed around a little less.
But yeah, that's what he did it on 1,000 miles on a 650.
Jeez, I had no idea.
That's a brutal bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the people
Brutal.
who do it in trucks is one driver too, though, right? Or
No,
do
not usually. They have
No.
co-drivers. They swap out. I mean, there
Yeah.
are people who do.
Because it's not
but-
much rest being in the passenger seat,
No,
right?
they swap out entirely. They're not in the passenger seat. They'll swap out driver and co-driver.
Oh, I
The
see.
co-driver is always he's the map guy. He's the one that tells you where to go, where
So
to
it's all
turn,
about getting
whatever.
the car from start to finish. The drivers
It's the team, yeah. The drivers swap out, but they'll just swap back and forth. They'll be like team A
to get a break, get
they'll
some
take
water.
a break, and then team B will hop in, and then team A will get back in for the finish or whatever.
Wow.
The machine is what's actually being raced.
Yeah,
it's
right,
not,
yeah.
not the people. You know?
How
Not the-
long do the like high end trophy trucks? How long do they take?
I think they're down to like 19 hours.
Let me check. It's
1,000 miles in 19
Dude,
hours. In
you know
the
what's
desert?
I was watching Christopher Plavardi on a podcast talk about this, and he was saying what's insane is that it's gotten so competitive that in the trophy truck class, you get one flat tire and you lose. Like in 1,000 miles. He said it's like 30 seconds between the winner and the second place.
So do they even bring spares?
Yeah, oh yeah, they bring spares because
You still want to finish regardless.
yeah, you still want to finish, and like second place is still more valuable than
A lot of those trucks
20th.
have tires that have another tire inside.
like a run flat. Yeah,
Yeah, that they can run flat.
But he was saying that
so
like
you can get to like a better place to pull over to switch
Or get to a pit stop where there
get
is
to
a
pit stop.
tire.
Yeah,
But like,
because
if
they
you-
carry 2 spares on the truck, but sometimes they'll go through all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
But if you have a flat, you've lost the time.
yeah, but that's what's insane is in something like 19 hours and 1,000 miles,
In the desert.
it's less than a minute between first and second place. That's
Jeez.
insane.
Yeah.
How many trucks compete?
I'm gonna look up right
all
now
right.
what their time is. You guys keep talking.
Well, I think there was close to 60 of them last year.
Okay.
60 trophy trucks.
The last one you saw. Is
Yeah.
that the most fun thing to see go by, or?
Well, no, there's a lot of real fun things to see go by. The bikes, for one, the
Yeah.
motorcycles. And they always let the motorcycles go first. So
So there's less ruts and stuff.
Well, yeah, so there's less ruts. And, they used to let them all go at once.
They got ran over.
Too many
I'd
people were
imagine.
getting run over and hurt. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you
It's not
hit
a good thing, yeah.
You hit a bump and need to slow down on a bike and get run over by a trophy truck. That's
But what's really fun is to watch the Baja 250 because you can watch them go by here, and then you drive over here and you can watch them come by.
Because it's a loop. The 250 is a loop race rather than a point to point. So I just looked it up, and trophy truck class is usually 22 to 23 hours. But the course isn't always the same, and it says the 2023 race was 1,310 miles long. So this was a Baja 1,300.
wow.
And Bryce Menzies did it in 22 hours and 35 minutes.
Jeez, that would be hard to do that many miles just on the public highways of.
I know.
Like that's like driving
Yeah.
from like here to California.
So the machine that they're driving, it has to be tough as hell.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. To be able to do that speed for 1,000 miles nonstop. Yeah.
Are the shocks just cooked by the end of it? You need this redo your seals and everything.
I'm sure they have to. I mean,
Everything.
they rebuild. I'm sure they replace every single suspension pivot, heim joint, bushing, bearing, shock rebuild.
Motor.
Yeah, because you're
motor,
just going
like
bam, 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 bam for 23 hours straight.
yeah. There are there are flat sections. There's like lake beds and stuff where they're perfectly just smooth
Dry
dust.
lake beds.
How fast do they go in the lake?
$120.
Oh man, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta stop watching F1. I gotta start
Dude,
watching
F1
real
is so
racing.
boring compared to so boring compared to Baja.
Yeah.
Dude, and these days freaking Plavardi, he live streams the whole race.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
He has a helicopter chasing him the whole race
Yeah.
with 5 Starlink units on it.
Yeah.
We need to get him up here and have him on the podcast to hear
Yeah,
about
we
what Baja's
do.
like now.
I just want to ask him about how to set up a Starlink that you can live stream from because
It's mobile.
we want to do a 3 million subscriber live stream you should be here for it. It's probably going to happen. I think it's going to happen on Thursday.
Or maybe Friday. Sometime later this week.
Yeah, sometime on the main channel, we're going to be experimenting with like moving a camera through the garage live, and it'll just be like what we're normally doing. Like we'll just work on the trike or whatever, but we want to like be live when we come into the new era of Grind Hard. It's like live streaming the ball drop in New York. You know, it's like this is the 3 million era. We've got Chris on the team. We've got the trike going. This is the 3 million era of Grind Hard coming up, and it's going to be nuts.
The 3 million era, also known as the Goose era.
Yeah.
I say that because they're just in the shop with us right now, podcasting.
Yeah. Well,
I've had a lot of fun, and I'm very fortunate and feel very privileged to be here, you guys.
Well, it's we'll tell all the old stories of me hanging out in Chris's shop in another podcast, but it's a pretty cool full circle thing because I grew up.
What comes around goes around.
Yeah, right. Well, I grew up hanging out in Chris's shop, just watching him work, learning stuff, and then he started paying me to do some work when I was not old enough to be paid. Yeah. And now
Shh, don't tell anybody.
It was 20 years ago. Nobody cares now. And now we get to, Chris comes over and sees what we're doing, hangs out in the shop. We got some things to teach him. And now we're going to start paying him to help out with our project. Yeah. So it's a full circle.
Yeah, you took Ethan to Baja when he was a kid.
Now we're going to go back to Baja to watch the...
Now we're going to take you to Baja when you're a big kid. I'm going to take
you guys because I'm the one with experience.
He'll be taking us this time.
Okay.
The Mexicans say that I have 400 years of experience.
The ones that he works with?
The crew I had down.
Well, because he's been building stuff for so long, he's got all the tricks up his sleeve, and they're like, so they always say in Spanish, but they're like, he has 400 years of experience.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I think we should call the podcast there. We've got so much more to talk about, but we'll do the next week's podcast with you too, so we can really dive into some of this stuff.
Great.
I kind of got maybe held up on the whole like selling pulp to Russia situation, but
yeah, it looks like you need to go to the bathroom too.
Well, no, it's
his back from the roller coaster.
Yeah, my back is cooked, and I really want you to be able to drive this thing before you got to go. So we should get on that.
We're going to go drive the trike around.
All right. Well, that's the Sent and Bent podcast. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts, and we are giving away that razor on grindhardplumbingco.com. And you got to get on it quick because this merch is going out real quick. We're already sold out of some sizes of some things, so got to get on it.
Hurry up.
Yeah. We have this dog dish thing that's like a water bottle, and then you unscrew the bottom, and it's like a dog bowl, and then another one that's like a water bowl, or you could put like soup in it when you go to work. But anyways, I thought that was cool, but
not as cool as trophy trucks.
Not as cool as trophy trucks. We'll see you next week.
There's nothing cooler than a trophy truck.
Chris, I got it. We'll leave it on this exciting note. Did you know you can buy a trophy truck on Alibaba?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't be surprised. All right.
Yeah.
Edwin, this is news to Edwin today.
News to me,
you can buy anything on Alibaba.
I know, but like a trophy truck.
But here's the secret, though. Because, you make money on YouTube videos, but you don't make nearly enough to buy a trophy truck on Alibaba. So maybe we can talk about this on the next podcast. We got to figure out a way how we can make buying a trophy truck from Alibaba profitable. So maybe we'll brainstorm that next week.
We could. We'll brainstorm it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk next week. I really, it's probably not even an hour yet. I just have to stand up from my roller coaster back.
No, I bet we've been going for an hour.
Here we go.
We've been talking for a while.
Oh, okay. See you next week. These guys have been causing absolute...
Oh my God.
Mayhem.
Chris,
look, there's stuff...
You don't need to build recycling equipment. Just get a flock of geese. They're just shredding the cardboard.
Look at what they did. They completely cooked the floor.
They pooped everywhere and shredded a bunch of cardboard. That one over there is Steve. Laying on the cardboard and shredding it. That's very destructive, dudes.
All right, I'm turning the cameras off now for real. Peace.